This week's Torah portion, Parshat Terumah, deals with the construction of the Mishkan, the traveling tabernacle, place of worship that the Israelites carried with them and then would set up and use for their prayer, their sacrificial rituals and prayers and celebrations and holidays. We're going to look at one very small part of the construction of the Mishkan. This is in Exodus chapter 25, verse 5. We're learning about what's being collected from the Israelites for the building of the Mishkan. Ve'orot elim me'odamim. You should collect ram skins that are dyed red. Ve'orot TACHASHim, and TACHASHim skins. Ve'atzei shitim, and a certain kind of wood called shitim wood. We're later going to see that these skins, these TACHASHim skins, were used to cover the Mishkan. They would cover the roof. The question, of course, is what are TACHASHim skins? Rashi says as follows: TACHASHim min chaya v'lo hayta ela l'sha'ah. A TACHASHim, a TACHASH, was a type of animal which only existed in the time that we're talking about, when the Israelites were in the desert. The harbe gvanim hayula, it had many colors, and he notes that it's referred to in the translation, the side-by-side translation of the Torah called the Targum. It's translated in the Targum as sasgona. Fine. So we don't exactly know what the TACHASHim was. And indeed, there are many midrashim about this animal. One says that it had a large horn in the middle of its head. Some translate it, therefore, is it maybe a unicorn? Or is it a narwhal? Some translations have TACHASH as a dolphin. We're going to read a little bit of insight that the Maharal has, just an interesting reflection. He notes, he's going to pick up on Rashi's point, that the animal, according to the Midrashic idea, that the TACHASH only ever existed in that moment in time. And he's going to bring in an interesting halachic perspective. He says, De'im lokain, for were it not the case that the TACHASH only existed in that time, hare, lo hutar l'melechet shemayim, ela behema tahora. The Maharal notes that we have a general halachic principle that any melechet shemayim, so that's like holy work or something that's used to make items, animals that are going to be used, their bodies, parts of the animal bodies and carcasses that are going to be used to make holy Jewish ritual items, can only come from kosher animals. And we learn that from a verse in Exodus chapter 13, talking about tefillin, where it says that the tefillin, the phylacteries, are leman tiyeh Torah Hashem b'ficha, that the words of God should be in your mouth. The Gemara learns over there in Masechet Shabbat, why did it say they should be in your mouth? We should infer from that min hamutar b'ficha, that they should only be made from things which you could eat, i.e. kosher animals. It's an interesting inference the Gemara makes over there, but the Maharal here is saying, and therefore, we have a problem that he's going to continue to elaborate on, which is or a potential problem which is avoided, if the TACHASH were a kosher animal, and it must be to have been the part of the building of the Mishkan, part of the Tabernacle, then we have a problem. V'im kain TACHASH chayat tahora haya. The TACHASH is a kosher, undomesticated animal. V'lama lo mana ota b'behemot v'chayot tahorot. Why was it not mentioned in the part of the Torah where it lists somewhat extensively the list of kosher animals? We know throughout the Torah, in multiple places, certainly in Parshat Shmini, there's a list of kosher animals. Why is the TACHASH not a kosher animal? It must have been kosher if you're going to build the tabernacle out of it, because we have the Gemara which says that melechet shemayim, holy building projects, must come from kosher animals. So the Maharal answers, Ella l'sha'a haita. This helps us explain why it would be that the TACHASH only existed for a certain moment in time. V'lo mana davar shehaya l'sha'a. And it must be that the Torah did not see fit to list those creatures which only existed for a moment in human history. So that's a nice answer that the Maharal is weaving together different sources and different ideas to present a fuller picture of how could it be that you had this animal, the TACHASH, that only existed for a little moment in history. It would have had to have been kosher, but it wasn't listed in the Torah's list, so that all makes sense. But he asks a further question. Vaha dichtiv, but wait a sec. Does it not say in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 16, verse 10, Ve'ana'alcha tachash, I, God, as you Israelites were wandering in the desert, I made sandals for you from tachash skins. Whoa, very interesting. A new piece of information from the prophet Ezekiel, that when the Israelites wandered in the desert, their sandals were made of tachash skin. Problem, says the Maharal. Dimashma shahayu harbe tchashim b'yemei Moshe v'hayu osim imeno menalim. This implies that what? So the Israelites were wandering for 40 years in the desert, and there were 600,000 of them. That's a lot of sandals. You would have needed a lot of tachashim, a lot of tachash skins to make that many sandals. Can we, how do we reconcile the fact that the tachash only existed for a moment in time, as Rashi quoted, with the notion that 600,000 Jews wandering in the desert had tachash skins on their feet for 40 years? Can we reconcile that? Says the Maharal, we can. Zehu lo kashya, this is not a problem. Devadai, certainly, kshebara kadosh baruch hu la'uta chaya, when God created the tachash, bishvil hamishkan, created this type of animal for use in the Mishkan, harbe hayu lima'od. Actually, don't get confused. God didn't just create the few tchashim that were needed. Lo nivru asara davka. It's not just that God made 10 tchashim that were specifically just those skins needed for the top of the tabernacle. Rak shahayu harbe. No, there were many. Meaning what? God created a species that was like any other species of animal. There was many of them. Umasha Amar, and when the Midrash says, Maisa Nisim Haya Lashat Nivra'u Lashan Nignaza, that this was a miraculous animal that was only created for a moment, and then it was just after that moment hidden again. Ein mashma'o shalo haita ela l'sha achat. It's not that literally they were there for one moment, 1 second, and they got what they needed. No, it was for a period of time. And during that period of time, hayut sadin harbe ma'od. They trapped, this is quite a claim, the Israelites trapped as many tachashim as they needed to get skins for the tabernacle, but also to get skins for the ad shahaya dailahem, until they had as many skins as they needed. And as many as they needed for all the sandals. Now he notes, and this is brilliant, it says in Sefer Devarim that when, Parakaf Tet, chapter 29, when the Israelites were walking in the desert, it says that their sandals did not wear out. So the Maharal brings this idea full circle and says, and therefore they trapped as many tachash skins as the tachashim and took the skins that they needed initially, and they knew they wouldn't need more later because the sandals would never wear out. And they wouldn't need more because the sandals would not wear out. So the Maharal has done several really ingenious things here. He's woven together various Torah texts and midrashic ideas to help explain and give depth and to really draw out some of the ideas behind the tachash, the notion that it would only exist for a moment in time, the notion that sandals were made from it the notion that the Mishkan was made from it, the notion that it had to have been a kosher animal, and solves all of these ideas quite deftly. Always a pleasure learning with you. More next week.